actually hit her in the back of the head, right where your spine is. Because he was telling me, he was like, if you hit right there, like just one like good hit, you can just knock the person out and then they'll be dead. And she was like pretending to be dead for a while. I would see that she was still breathing and I'll be like, Johnny, she's still alive. What the heck? And then like Johnny finally like made the like last blow, and it was kind of creepy because she was like scared.
Welcome to Motip. This is the tragic story of Cassandra Borge, a 17-year-old from Georgia. On an ordinary Saturday night in April 2017, Wendy and Randall Borge, both 63, were found dead in their Lawrenceville home. They were Cassandra's grandparents, beaten with a tire iron and their throats slashed. The bodies had been there for over a week, hidden from neighbors on their quiet street. The police discovered the scene during a welfare check, finding the house sealed with caulk and the bodies covered in bleach, a feeble attempt to cover up a senseless crime. Wendy and Randall's bodies were discovered after several days of welfare checks prompted by concerned family members who hadn't heard from them since late March 2017. The police first knocked on their door on April 6th, but found nothing suspicious. The next day, another check led to a missing persons report for Randall. Randall, the son of Norwegian immigrants, and Wendy, both born in 1954, met in Utah and married in 1974. They moved to Georgia, where Randall worked as a network engineer. They had 2 adult children, Amanda and Christopher, and were close with their extended family. Sylvia Borge Berman, Randall's older sister, was the last to hear from them on the night they died. Cassie, born on March 18, 2000, had been living with her grandparents since 2016 after a tumultuous relationship with her mother and a restraining order against her stepfather.
I stopped going to Duluth in 2015.
Okay.
Because that was around the time where like all this stuff was happening with my parents and stuff. And I started getting scared going to school because my stepdad would literally come on campus looking around the whole campus just to find me.
Cassie's behavior had been a constant source of trouble for Wendy and Randall. Between October 2015 and April 2017, police were called to their home 31 times for various incidents involving Cassie, including running away, suspected drug use, and domestic disputes. Despite their efforts to create a peaceful home, Wendy and Randall's attempts to help Cassie only brought chaos into their lives. By April 2017, Cassie was seeing Johnny Ryder, a 19-year-old with a troubled past. After running away, Cassie and Johnny went off the grid, and Wendy posted a plea on Facebook for Cassie's safe return. On April 7th, after a series of welfare checks and a violent incident involving Johnny and his sister, the police finally entered the Borge home and discovered the gruesome scene. Cassie and Johnny had beaten, stabbed, and slit the throats of Wendy and Randall, then tried to cover their tracks by pouring bleach over the bodies and sealing the room.
We were just all over the place, Bailey. We were just trying to find something to do.
So I guess when do you decide to go back to your grandparents' house in the middle of the night?
It was like a couple days after, like 2 or 3 days. At first, it wasn't my idea at first. He first asked me, "Are you afraid to die?" And I said no. And then I asked them, "Are you afraid to die?" And he said no. And he asked me, he was like, would you kill your grandparents? You know, like I fought them, you know.
When you guys met at the park, did he ever go over the actual plan on how you guys would do it or anything like that? Or
I was already figuring that I had a warrant or something that already violated probation. We started out like with, you know, what time should we go over to the house? How are we gonna do this? You know, like what materials do we need to, you know, do this?
They stole Randall's car and used his money to buy drugs and clothes, living in the house for a week before attacking Johnny's sister and her boyfriend. Cassie and Johnny were eventually found hiding in a friend's apartment and arrested. Both had attempted suicide but survived. Cassie confessed to the murders, detailing their actions and even admitting they had friends over to the house, unaware of the bodies inside. In 2018, Cassie and Johnny were sentenced to life in prison for the murders. They pleaded guilty, each blaming the other for inciting the crime. Cassie, being 17 at the time, was not eligible for the death penalty. The motive for the murders remains unclear, rooted in the troubled lives of the young couple, whose frustrations tragically turned deadly. This horrific story leaves many questions. Why did Cassie kill her grandparents, who only tried to help her? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe.